Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I'd like to do is take a look at some watches by top watchmakers. And when I say top watchmakers, I'm talking about recognized individual watchmakers, not just sort of the general kind of a good brand of watchmakers, but ones that are still available, just available, some of which have started to go up. But I wanted to find watches that were a good buy, I think, as far as getting the quality is concerned. Now, I know a lot of people think a good buy has to do with some kind of investment. I've been quite fortunate as far as the investment part, but because I've never invested in a watch for that purpose. I've always invested in watches for the quality of the watch and how much I enjoy it. Not for well, if I buy this watch, even though I don't wear it, I'll be able to get as much or more for it when I sell it. These aren't that kind of watches. So let's take a look. These are good quality watches, and I think you might find at least one you want. Some regrets that I had because I didn't buy them before the price went up. Some I did before the price went up. I'm very happy about it. Now, first one I want to start with is Daniel Roth. The first one is a Daniel Roth Master's Chronograph. I did have one at one time, but I'm just not a chronograph person, even though a lot of people are. So I thought, well, let's see if I can find a good one. Now, in looking at every watch, there's this everywatch.com is a great place for watch collectors to take a look at, because there they can compare the prices and different metals and everything else. So the Daniel Roth Masters Chronograph, the median price was found to be $11,970, almost $12,000. This one I found at a place called True Facet. This one was listed for $7,150. And it's a Caliber DR400, DR for Daniel Roth, and it's based on an El Primero 400, which is a 5 hertz. Some people love them, some don't. 50 hours. But one of the nice things about this, it has a mother of pearl dial. So this is something that pretty cool watch by a top watchmaker. The next one is one I happen to have. It's the Daniel Roth Premier Retrograde. I don't have the black dial, but I have one, the same movements and the same everything else, except for just a different color. Now this one has a Caliber DR 700-10, and it's based on a Leintia 27NL iBosch. It's automatic for Hertz, double ellipso curvex case. Medium price is $79.30 on these. This is by the way, too, all of the ones I'm looking at, they're in the metal that I'm talking about. Like this one's in steel, and so the medium price for one in steel is $79.30. This one is $6,900 at a place called European Watch Company. This watch is one I happen to like, not just because I have it, but because I think it's a cool watch. It has two things I really like. First of all, it has a retrograde, and it takes a while to figure this retrograde out. It's a retrograde hour, and when it comes to the 6 on at 3 o'clock, it bounces back to the 6 at 9 o'clock. And then goes through it. So it takes a little while to get used to telling time with it, but it's unique. The other thing I like, I've always liked hand dates over window dates. And this has got a nice little hand date. And if you ever get one of these, a lot of people said, oh, I got one, but I can't set the hand date. That's because it has a quirk to it, is that in order to set the hand date, you pull out the stem to set the hours and minutes. And then to set the date, you wind it backwards. Just that. One of those things. $6,900 at European Watch Company. These have been going up. One of the reasons, and I don't want to sound macabre about it, Daniel Roth is, a lot of people have think, well, poor old Daniel hasn't been in very good shape. And so, F.P. Journe once advertised, you better get an F.P. Journe watch because I may be slipping off this mortal coil soon. So, I don't think he needs anywhere near that. A lot of people think Daniel Roth is and say, want to get a Daniel Roth. That's not the reason they get it. I would get a Daniel Roth once because he's really a first-class watchmaker. Now, here's something. There's a place called Greenwich Time, and Daniel Roth, Leintia, reference 177. Now, you can find these. There used to be a lot of them. They become rarer and rarer. But this is Essential Dial. It's a time-only dial. The Leintia has a second hand, and it has a date window. The new one, now what happened was that, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. LVMH, because they own Bulgari, they also own Daniel Roth because Bulgari bought the name Daniel Roth. So what LVMH did, it's Louis Vuitton, they talked Daniel Roth and says, look, we'd like to bring your watches back and use the name Daniel Roth with your blessing and so forth. And I guess, there was obviously something financial involved in, and so they did it. And now the price of one of those is $50,000, and so 17,250, which is close to it, sounds good. Now there's more to this. This is an interesting thing. When they brought back the Daniel Roth, what they call it, extra plot subscription. I'm saying it totally wrong. It means extra flat subscription watch. Subscription was used originally by Breguet, Abraham Louis Breguet. Now, the movement, DR for Daniel Roth 002, it's a manufactured movement, a 65-hour with 4 hertz manual winding, 28,800, that's no great shakes as far as I'm concerned. But here's what it was assembled. It was developed and assembled by La Fabrique du Temps, Louis Vuitton, under the supervision of the 2 master watchmakers that are part of La Fabrique du Temps, Michel Narvas and Enrico Barbassini. So it was like I guess what they did, they used some essential elements of the Daniel Roth design. That's certainly the case, but also the movement. So but 50,000, that's a lot. Okay, so some of these other ones they're pretty good. Even at 17,250 in gold, still looks like a pretty decent deal. Okay, moving right along. Now, this next one, I've talked about Roger Dubuis, Monet Gosp, because I have one. And I have the gold one, and it's a little different, obviously, just because it's in gold. Not because it's a whole lot different. The Excalibur RD for Roger Dubuis 821 is the same as I have. Now, this watch I put up on High Horology Lounge and asked people what they thought about it. And I was surprised to see how varied the opinions were. To me, this is a great deal. $73.82. The median secondary price is $95.60. I like this watch. Now, one of the problems with Roger Dubuis watches, as far as I'm concerned, isn't the movement. They have fabulous movements. It's the design. There's only certain designs that I like. Some of them I don't like. But this one, I've had this for several months now. Just love it. But I have the gold version, but otherwise it's the same watch. And it costs a bit more than that. So anyway, but this watch, I think right now it's on, I've seen this on Chrono 24. I'm surprised it hasn't been grabbed up. Okay, now taking a look at some other Roger Dewi, there are some decent deals right now. There's this one, an Excalibur, the Excalibur line. The one on the left is an Excalibur. The secondary market, the median price is $83.90 for Excalibur in steel. The offer here is $48.03. This is a place called, it's at Chrono 24, and the name of the dealer is a dealer in Hong Kong called Closer. I've dealt with him before, great guy, didn't have a problem. So that looked like a pretty good deal. Pretty good sized watch, but if you like that, it's a real guy's kind of watch. The other one, Roger Dewi Easy Diver. Now there's a lot of different faces on the Easy Diver. Same thing with the Excalibur. And I had one of these too. In fact, I had an Excalibur, and I also had a Roger Dewi Easy Diver. But I wanted something a little more dressy. That's how come I ended up with the Monet Gasp. Okay, and so I traded these in so I could get the Monet Gasp. Short, long story made short. This one's offered at $5,000. The median for Easy Diver is $7,190. Now there are a lot of different kinds of Easy Divers, and the same thing with the Excaliburs. They have chronographs and this, that, and the other thing. But this is for plain vanilla Easy Diver. When I say plain vanilla, they're not exactly plain. Easy Divers are really actual divers. They have there's a lockdown crown on it, and the stem, so you can go underwater with this thing. Caliber RD14, good caliber, really good one. And the Roger on the automatic for the Excalibur, that's an RD620. So you have two different ones. The RD620 uses a micro rotor on it. The RD14 has a larger rotor. Actually, I like the micro rotor because you can see more of the movement. I like the big rotor because it doesn't get in the way of the size of the balance wheel. Here are a couple more. And again, these things, the price keeps going up on these things recently. That's how come I tried to dig something up for you that looked like a good price. Now, these next two are by Parmesani. Now, Parmesani's, both of these, the Kalpa and the Parmesani Furier Persian, both of these watches are really well priced in terms of not only what they were at MSRP, but relative to the median price, because the price of these have been going up and up and up, and they have not become as available as they used to be. The one on the left is the Parmesani Furier Kalpa. I had one of these for a long time. This particular one has a gold rotor. I don't know why, but I just like the solid gold rotor. It's a 22 karat gold rotor. The newer ones they're made out of something else. But this particular one has got a caliber PF 331. It's got, pretty much time only, plus at the bottom it has a date window. Anyway, this is one that you might want to take a look at. I found this one on C24, on Chrono 24. Medium price, $9,900. This one is $4,000 with suggest a price. Suggest a price. Don't pay whatever they want. Pay what you want, within reason. Okay, moving right along. The next one is a Parmesani Furier Pershing. Now the Pershing is a very interesting watch. On the back of it, there's a yacht called the Pershing. That's why these, I guess somebody at Parmesani said, hey, this is a great idea. We'll name it after our yacht. So anyway, chronograph, the chronograph watch, the Excalibur PF 334, it's automatic, 50-hour reserve, 56.63. The median price of these is 72.30. These are sort of interesting watches. They're becoming less and less and more expensive because they've quit making them. They quit making both of these models, and they sort of seem to have dipped. They went down and they're starting to climb back up again. So that's where we are right now with these. There's another watch I can highly recommend. I don't know if there are any more sort of in this range. There might be though, and that's the Retrograde, which is another type of chronograph. I just didn't find any for some of these lower prices right now. Some people just got one right under the wire and they got them for good prices. I don't know if they're around anymore. Probably are. I missed them. And again, here you have, these are by top watchmakers, okay? Michel Parmesani, Daniel Roth, Roger Dewi. Finally, is Arman Stum. Now, a little while ago, I had a video called, I'm going to regret not getting these. These are watches I regret not getting, and here's why. There was an Arman Stum that I really liked. I think it was a manual. I think it was one of the manuals. It was around 6,000 something, I think. And I just not. Well, this is why. On the left is the Arman Stum manual Earth, and they have full set, which means they got the box and the papers and all of that stuff. This one's hand wound, which I like, 18,000 semi-oscillations per hour. Another thing I like, 120-hour reserve on it, caliber AMW11. Median price of this watch is $21,680. This one is for $10,337. I know that's a lot, but that's what I regretted not getting them when they were a better price for. But still, it's easily worth it. Again, it's half of what they're buying these things for now. The other one is one I like too. This is Arman Stum Gravity Date Water. This is an automatic with a micro rotor on it, 18,000 semi-oscillations per hour with 120-hour reserve. The median price on these is also $21,680. The offer I found, the best offer I found, again, was about half of that, $11,128. Now, both of these suggest a price. Suggest a price. Listen to me. One of the things you can do, if you go to every watch, you can see how long they've been for sale. The longer they've been for sale, you can use it. You don't have to tell them that they know how long they've been for sale. But suggest a price. And again, this is something that you have to sort of be wise about it, okay? Don't be snotty. One of the last watches that I got, I basically I made an offer. They said no dice. I waited a while, a couple of weeks, went back and said, okay, I love this watch. It's a beautiful watch. I really like it a lot, but this is all I can do for you. And which was just a little more than my first one. They went for it. So you never know what you're going to get unless you try. So I think this is something that you got to keep in mind when you're doing this. If anybody who watches my videos goes in there and just hands over full price, I'm not talking to you ever again. Okay, you guys, good hunting. This is an opportunity to subscribe if you like. Till next time, this is Bill Sander for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.